Welcome to Season 3 of the Casual Camping Podcast, your home for the best camping discussion both in and out of the field. Here are your hosts, Tim and Ade.
Hello, you lovely campers. Welcome back to another casual camping episode with your best hosts, Tim and Ade. I'm Ade.
And I'm Tim. That was awesome, Ade. You've really got this. You've got this high energy intro down pat. I'm loving it. Loving it.
Well,
hello everybody listening wherever you might be. That could be in a car, could be in a tent, could be in a field, could be in a factory. Could be anywhere, wherever you are in the world. I've got to say, thanks for listening.
Thank you for listening and hopefully giggling along so that your colleagues are going, what? You're in on the secret. Let them know about it.
Oh, go on. Go for it. Sorry.
I was going to do some proper professional. We are on all of the social.
And I talked right over you. Just stamped on your toes.
What am I saying? I mean, they know where we're at. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on YouTube. Tim's video. You put a video up of the knife I bought you, and that's gone crazy, dog.
That's like over 50,000 views now on that, which our previous highest was 14,000 views, which was me cutting a hole in my tent. And so that's gone completely bonkers as that one. So Victorinox, we haven't tagged you in it or anything.
We're after sponsor. No, we're not.
No, we're not. It's just a really cool knife, and a lot of people like it as well, which is really cool.
How interesting that had been out for a year and a half before we saw it at that show. I then loved it, thought you'd love it off the back of your excitement when you saw it. So,
oh, God, it was amazing.
So, yeah, maybe they soft launched it and thought this isn't the knife for us.
Well, we weren't even allowed to touch it at the show. I'm not sure that was a media thing or whether they just didn't like the look of us.
He did give us chocolate knives. He was like, you guys can play with these.
I've still got mine. I've still got my chocolate Swiss Army knife. It's
I ate mine before we were off the stand.
I know.
Well, I've just had a kebab. I could do with some chocolate.
So I've kept it and it's on a nice shelf because it just looks really cool. This is the difference between us.
Trouser size, is that what you're saying?
There's some uncomfortable joke there. I'm not sure.
There really is. But only me and Tim will know about it now. Shush, Tim, shush.
You just made it worse. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, this week, casual campers, we're going to talk about glamping.
Ooh,
I know.
There doesn't sound much casual about glamping, Tim. Are you sure?
I'm absolutely sure because actually, and I'm going to prove this throughout this episode. So you might be listening to this and you might think, oh, God, this one's going to be rubbish. I'm not a glamper. Actually, yes, you are. I put it to every one of our listeners listen to this show that each and every one of you is a glamper in your own way. You just don't realize it. And I bet by the end of it, you're going to go, yeah, I probably am a bit of a glamper in my own way.
Well, you know me, and you know that I am quite the glamper. I mean, there are those times where you've got an evening, you've got a night, it's a quick and fast, it's a get out, you'd prefer to be out doing that. But even I go like, oh, what am I taking with me this time? Will I be comfortable enough? Maybe it's my age, Tim, maybe it's not. There are some of those ones where actually you forget that you can do it rough and ready. I forgot my airbed a couple of years ago, slept on the ground. I can do it for a night. It's all right. Wouldn't choose to do
Wouldn't
it though.
choose to do it. You know,
No.
how much is your bed set up?
Gosh, 300, 400.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's not including the Snow Peak sleeping bag.
Shh, they've just half-priced that again. It's a quarter of the price now. 127 quid.
God,
Damn it.
I'm gonna buy two and make some really big trousers out of it.
They'll zip together. They will zip
They
together.
will zip together. They will
Yeah.
zip together. They'll make massive trousers. Right. There's something about the trousers in this episode. I don't know what's going on. Don't know what's going on. It's yeah, we make no pretense, and everyone who's listened previously, and if you haven't listened previously, then welcome to the show. Welcome to
the show.
Welcome
Maybe
to the
go
family.
back about a year. If you go back 2 or 3 years, then it'll be, quite amateurish. But this is quite amateurish, isn't it, Tim?
It's quite amateurish anyway. It's we just have marginally better sound quality, but yeah, anyone that knows us knows we like kit, we like gear. When we go away camping, we take all the toys. We have everything with us, and we have a great time using all of it, and just having a brilliant time with everything. We like to be comfortable. I'm a man that's got 2 bell tents. I've got tent carpets. I've got tent stoves. I like to be really comfortable. I take a camp bed. I put a sim on top of the camp bed. I then put a blanket on top of that because, I want to be really comfortable when I'm camping. And the majority of the time when we go, we're in a car, aren't we, Ed?
Yeah, we're in a car. We're parked right next to where we camp in. Although that does seem to be getting a little bit harder depending on the campsites that we go to.
Yeah, it is.
Seem to be doing a little bit more wheelbarrowing in of things and going up a hill with all my kit, which kind of puts me off sometimes. Yeah, that kind of, you're quite away from where the car park is and you can't park next to it. That's not for glampers.
No, you are very true there. That is very true. And there is more and more of that coming out there in camping land. There's more and more sites that are absolutely making you park your car somewhere, and they'll give you a multicolored wheelbarrow and make you carry it or drag it up a hill or something like that.
Yeah.
And
maybe it's just our choice, but
yeah. And that, if you've taken all the gear and you've taken all the toys, then yeah, that does make it a little bit more challenging. But listeners who've been who are on our socials will know that last weekend I've just come back from Belgium, where I didn't book it. My other half very, very kindly for my significant birthday.
Is this the continuation of the 50th birthday, Tim?
It is.
Wow.
Talk
about glamping.
I know.
Making the most of it.
Milking it, you mean?
Milking the most of it. I saw the beer that you were drinking. It looked like coffee.
Oh, God. Belgian beer. Belgium does some of the best beer in the world. You've got all on to find something that's less than 8%. It is all very strong beer, but there is just so much good beer in Belgium.
I saw you were on it at 11 o'clock in the morning.
It's, wasn't actually my birthday, but it's effectively my birthday if the holiday.
When in Belgium, start early.
Totally. They are. It was 11.
Le Belgique.
You got to remember they're an hour ahead of you, so it was midday there. So the sun's over the yard arm. I'm having a beer if I'm on holiday.
You sent pictures back, and it was just over 11 o'clock, and I was like, "Oof, blooming heck, he's going to be wasted."
What, 2 pints Tim on an 8% beer?
I was like, I'll get wasted and go, where's the rum?
No.
Has that not happened yet?
The rum is not.
If anybody's been unkind to you, Tim, go, I'll take some rum. And then you'll be sorry.
That's such a good idea.
That's such a good threat. Emergency rum. You should have it in.
I'm going to have it on a little chain around my neck, a little vial of rum. It's like, if you piss me off, I'm going to have the rum.
I'm going to smash this.
I'm going to be Angry Hulk.
It'd be like Popeye instead of spinach rum. Brilliant.
Oh
I
God.
like it.
Dear.
Anyway, so yes, so Belgium. So what is it about, obviously, where you were staying that you wanted to talk about glamping and why secretly you think everybody is a glamper?
So those that have seen on the socials know I went to Belgium, and
It was
it
a
was
pretty little shack that you were in.
it was a pretty little wooden cottage in the woods that I won't even pretend to tell you how expensive it was because I haven't been told, but I know it was a lot. It was beautiful. The guys who run that. It's just in their garden, which is amazing. And they're such a
Wow.
lovely couple. He's a landscape designer, landscape garden designer. She just runs this cottage. They've got a second one as well elsewhere in the garden. And they had them built by a local artisan carpenter who just, finds bits of wood and thinks that'll work for that part. So I'll just put that in there. And
Yeah.
it was just great. And it was glamping. As far as I'm concerned, if you're in a field somewhere, it doesn't matter if you're, in a tent, in a tarp, in a hammock, in a camper van, in a caravan, or you're in a little wooden shack. That's yeah, that's still you're out there in the outdoors. So you're in the family. You're in the family.
You are in the family. I definitely agree with that because you are getting that way. You're out, you're in the elements, you're having a fire on an evening,
Yes.
you're relaxing and you're stepping out of yourself and maybe the busy lives that everybody has. So
Mm,
yeah, I think there's also a thing that even though this was expensive, I think there is glamping for everyone and every price point.
yeah.
From if I was talking to a friend this week and he was saying, oh, I'm camping in a field and it was £35 for a night. So that's £70 for a night. I could have got one of their glamping tents where you're not
Mm,
putting up anything, you're just moving in for an evening or two. They tend to be there for, you can't book them for one night, you've got to book them for two for the weekend. And that's £100. It's only £30 more.
yeah. 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 And that's really part of my thought that deep down we're all glampers. And yeah, we might not go the whole hog of a bell tent with a raised bed and some nice little lights and all sort, some sheepskin rugs on the floor and all of that, which is what you used to think of glamping. But
Mm.
actually, turning up somewhere, whether that's a little cottage where it's all beautifully done and there's a coffee machine and all sorts of stuff, can't tell you, it was just incredible place. Or actually, you turn up at a site and you decide to have the tent that's already put up because
Yeah.
because it's not much more and actually it's easier. Well, that's glamping to me. And
And isn't that good that actually you can't get away early from work on the Friday? So you don't want to be putting the tent up at like 9 o'clock when it's
yeah,
starting to get dark. You just want to get there, maybe crack a couple of beers, if you're me or thee, and get the food on.
yeah,
So yeah, I think that's the thing. It's horses for courses and time frame. We've all got busy lives. We all want to get out there as much as we can do.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you've got me sold. I think I am very much a glamper.
I don't think I
I
don't
w
think there was any doubt in that one, Ed.
No, no. Hey, I look quite bushcrafty when the light gets me at a certain point on
Oh,
a
when
morning afterwards.
when you're dripping in Foal Raven.
Climbing out of my swag.
So
I
swag
mean,
along.
our swag, our
Oh
swag.
yeah, whatever. I'm giving that one up as a good one. That's gone. But
Uh,
I genuinely think that we glamping is something different to all of us. And glamping to us might be what we do most of the time. I don't consider what I do most of the time as glamping. I just consider that as my normal camping. I then go to a cottage in Belgium. That's glamping to me. But
yeah, yeah,
actually, if,
yeah.
if your normal camping is going out in a tarp, then actually staying in a tent is
Yeah,
that's glamping to
yeah.
you, isn't it? You
Oh,
know,
it
if
is.
if
Yeah.
if you normally go out in a two-man tent, and you're staying on your own and you've carried all your stuff in, and then another time you go in and you take a three-man tent with a stove and some wood, and you're staying in one place and you've got some really nice food. Well, in comparison, that's glamping for you, isn't it? And that's what I mean by actually, we're all glampers. Because even if you are the most basic camper in the world, and you go absolutely basic and you're making a shelter out of some bits of wood that you've cut down, there'll be another time that you go camping when you will take more equipment and you will
Yeah.
take more stuff to make your life more comfortable. That's glamping to you. That's your version of glamping. It doesn't need to have a chandelier with lots of candles on it. It just needs to have more equipment than you would normally do. And therefore, ergo, you are all
Yeah.
glampers, people. We are all
Well,
glampers
yeah.
in our own way.
I think I was thinking more or less the same thing. I was saying we used to go, me and my friend used to go wild camping in some woods, and we kind of survived. It was about survival, but there were some times we came away from that going, that was a bit rough that time. I think I'd give it a miss for a couple of months until it gets a bit warmer. And then, because I wanted to be out, that's when you start to think about, well, what's those other, I've heard about tent stoves, I've heard about
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
what? And it's that constant adjusting of, will you always go glamping? No, you won't. You're only going for a night. You take sometimes the North Face
Yeah, the
Fat
little
Frog,
tiny tent and just go
and
go
do
fast and
that.
light.
And other times you go the whole hog, and I think that's the bit that I'd love to have a camper van. I really really would. I'm sort of thinking, how the heck can I get a VW Buzz, because I really really want one, and I see them everywhere now. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I want them more than you do, give it to me. But I also think as well that I would miss being under canvas,
Yeah. Yeah.
being under, just seeing all those stars on a night, hearing the rain on the tent. You don't get that in a camper van, or you get a more tinny kind of sound from it, I
I
suspect. But I
I
wouldn't know. I've never
yeah,
done it.
yeah, I've never done. I don't think it has to be one or the other. And I don't think you need to be, oh, I'll always stay in a cottage, I'll always stay in a cabin, I'll always stay in a camper van, I'll always stay in a tent, I'll always just, rough it and sleep wild on a roundabout because I want a mini adventure. There are those people that do that. It's
There are.
there are.
You and me will be one of them.
That's called being homeless, and I hope not.
I thought it was stealth camping.
It is stealth. Yeah, it is stealth camping. We
Is that
we
what all
still.
the homeless are doing? Oh my God.
Oh, that's a bit of a. Oh, that's almost touching politics, Ed. I'm a bit scared of that.
I am only joking. I am only joking.
I know. It's I don't know what I was saying. Yeah, I do remember what I was saying. It. None of us are one type of camper.
Yeah.
That's probably my point. Is you want to stay in a camper van, but you wouldn't just switch to a camper van. You would still go camping. And
I would.
we're of the really really lucky position, and I know not all of our listeners are, but we have multiple tents,
Yeah.
and we are. You talk about the swag. You've got a snow peak tent. You've got loads of tents. I've got about 6 or 7 different tents, and sometimes I do take literally everything. And if my other half is coming, then absolutely, it is all the bells, all the whistles.
Yeah.
It is as glamping as I can make it, to make it really comfortable for her, so that she likes to go camping, so that I can go camping more. It's simple maths. But
It really is, isn't it? It's making that. I didn't really understand that years ago when me and my partner got together. I just took camping with my very small tent in a, not very good site. I've learned to know that I've got the bigger tent, so we've got more space. I've got kitchens and everything else that everybody knows what I've got. But I know, and you have to do this with other people that you're either meeting up with, is that a catch up with your friends? Is it more couples? Who's doing the cooking? What's the event that you're going to do?
Yeah.
It all, horses for courses. You've got to think of each and every eventuality depending on what the camping
Yeah.
situation is.
And I also think every single one of us, we've talked about it so many times. You go camping, you learn something on that camping trip. You learn something about a piece of equipment or your knowledge that's lacking or didn't quite work out. And then for the next time you go camping, you either replace the piece of equipment, you improve your knowledge, you do something different. That's an endless step towards glamping, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
That's natural selection, natural evolution of moving everybody towards a more comfortable camping. And instead of calling it glamping, we should really just call it more comfortable camping. It's because
Doesn't roll off the tongue, that one, does it?
That's why I'm penniless.
I agree with you. I would hesitate though. Do you remember when we were at the Bushcraft show last year?
Yes, I do.
And
Fantastic show.
those guys that were in the wood,
Yeah, yeah.
like that were sleeping on the ground, that were. I seriously wonder whether or not they do a bit of glamping. I think they've just got, this is what I'm doing. I'm trying to get my survival skills and stuff. Do you see those in a tunnel tent with a family and a trailer at the thing and TV in there?
I don't. No, I don't. I don't see him in a trailer with a TV and electric hookup. But you know what? I bet they do go camping with their family, and I bet they do make it more comfortable when their family comes.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean by, to them, that version of camping is glamping.
Yeah.
Because actually what they can do and be totally comfortable with, they can
Go out in a tarp and
they can dig a massive pit, they can light a fire in it, they can bury all the coals, they can lie on top of that and be nice and warm with a tarp over the top of them, and they're going to be comfortable doing that. But actually they've learned to do that. The first few times they did that, they were rubbish at it. And then they've improved their knowledge so that version of how they want to camp is the most comfortable version of that version of camping. Yeah. And they're, they will always still improve things. They will always still make things slightly more comfortable. And they're not purposefully going out of their way to make their life uncomfortable and harsh, which, to us as with all the gear.
As onlookers, I was like, I was amazed and like, oh, these are proper serious. We better back out of here.
Yeah, we were proper intimidated. It's proper intimidated. But you know what? They will have evolved what they're doing, and they will have moved along from being an uncomfortable camper to a more comfortable camper. And that more comfortable end is it's their version of glamping, and if that means, they've learned how to put a tarp up better, or they've bought a better tarp, or if they bought a better bushcraft knife that is a better tool to do all the things they do. Well, that better bushcraft knife, we know those better bushcraft knives, they start at £400.
Yeah.
They go up to some serious money, and That's a version of glamping right there, because you could get a Mora knife, for less than 100 that will do
35 quid. You can get a decent Mora knife for.
Yep, and it will do all the stuff that your
I've had mine for years.
£600 knife will do. You don't need that fancy knife, but you want it, and that wanting, that's glamping right there.
You talk a good glamp, Tim. You talk a good glamp.
I tell you, it's not all about chandeliers. It's sometimes it's just about £600 camping knives.
But
and those guys who are like in the woods, hardcore, they've gone and spent £600 on a camping knife. That's glamping.
I'm envious. I'm envious. That's my next purchase. A good knife, I
Oh,
reckon.
I tell you what,
Um,
you just want to go and buy that one that I've got because 50,000 people think it's great, and 50,001
honestly,
because I think it's great too.
there's nothing. I can't tell you. I had that for a week before I gave you it, and the amount of times I unboxed it and got it out and looked at it, and then cleaned the blade up again and popped it back away. Did that like at least 3 times a day. So, which
Right.
are always the best gifts, I think.
Yeah, totally, totally.
But
I have.
also,
I need to update that video actually because I've now added an Olight torch to it that kind of clips on, and
ooh,
it's like you know what, and it's a bit big because I've got a smaller Olight torch as well, and the smaller Olight torch is probably better, but I haven't got a use for the big one because I've recently upgraded my head torch, so that's now clipped to it, and it looks pretty cool. So at some
wow.
point I'll do a new video and stick it on the socials and see what happens to that one.
Yeah. Well, I was about to say for those of us that are glampers, I think it also goes back the other way as well, that yeah, we've all been round families where there's not enough space at the inn and somebody has to sleep on the sofa, or can you bring your tent because I know you like camping. So we're more amenable.
Yeah,
We can go into those other spaces and go, yeah, okay, we'll do that. Yep, yep,
yeah,
all right.
yeah.
So I think it goes both ways as well, that we are more adaptable than maybe somebody that doesn't camp.
You've always swung both ways, Ed.
Ooh.
Insert funny trouser joke.
Uh,
No,
dear.
you're right though, because we know we can do it comfortably, so we can go into those other areas that wouldn't usually be where you'd be camping. You know, I have camped in people's gardens before because you can. There's no room at the inn, so yeah. Well, I'll bring some stuff. I'll bring some stuff, and I'll be really comfortable, and everyone in the house will come out and sit around my fire, and they'll be there till 1 in the morning having a laugh with some beers.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
because you brought all the great toys and had a great time,
yeah, yeah.
and everybody wants to congregate around it and see it.
Yeah, I definitely think so. Yes, you are right. I think everybody is a secret glamper, maybe even those guys in the woods.
Yeah, I
Why
think they
wouldn't
are.
if you were given the option, we all go for comfort. Even the earliest caveman, went and thought, oh, sleeping out in the woods or in a little cave there, I'll go in the cave.
Totally, totally. It's
So maybe it's just human nature.
yeah, I think it probably is. I think it probably
I
is.
follow a guy, David Fryer, on Instagram, and
Mm.
he's got one of the best setups. He must have been watching the same things that I do because he always buys the kit just before I seem to sort of buy it, or he's had it for years. But I think he dresses a campsite really well. He's just got loads of good things, from swags to
Mm.
jeeps to roof tents to
Ah,
awnings that go on them. But he just puts up some great pictures. And I think, he can rough and ready it, but also he's got some very nice roof tents and things.
yeah. Speaking of roof tents, I saw the Thule or Thule. I don't know how you
Yes.
pronounce it. I saw the Thule one man roof tent where it's only like
Yeah.
half of the roof.
So it gives you space to put something else up there as
Yeah, well,
well.
they
Yeah.
did. So they had a it was a Land Rover Defender, not a brand new one, but reasonably, one of the later ones of the
Historic
original.
ones.
Yeah, yeah. Had a mountain bike on one side, had the Thule roof tent on the other, and I just thought, you know what, that looks great. It looked really, really good.
Yeah.
It's a really expensive one man tent on your roof, which
Yeah.
I
But it isn't that a part of glamping? That's somebody saying, I've got an easy setup. All I do is just unfurl that. It's
totally.
on my route and drive off again.
Yeah.
That's it's all
Roof
versions of what you
roof
want to
tents.
do.
Roof tents are absolutely glamping. And
Yeah.
anyone who's got a roof tent who thinks they're not a glamper, I'm telling you, you're a glamper because you could have saved yourself 3/4 of that money and bought an incredible 4-season 2-3-man tent that would have gone on the ground. But you chose to spend 2.5 grand putting it on the roof of your car. That's glamping. That's glamping, and it looks amazing. Don't get, I'm not criticizing you for
Yeah.
doing it. It's amazing, but you've made a conscious decision not to buy a Hilleberg 4-season 3-man tent, and you've bought a roof tent that's 2.5-3 grand that is effectively a three man tent.
Yeah.
And you're not going to put 3 people in it because you want lots of space, which again is a glamping thing. How many of us actually buy you want to do a solo hiking? Even Hugh, the legend that is Hugh, goes to Greenland, takes a 2-man tent because he likes a bit more room. I hate to tell you, Hugh, you're a glamper. I'm never going to meet you because you'll punch me in the face for saying that. But you're a glamper.
I'm sure Hugh is a lover, not a fighter, Tim.
Yeah, yeah. It's all about hugs. It's all about the hugs. He's hugging those polar bears.
They're hugging him. I think you'll find
everyone loves a huggy bear. But you're making that conscious decision towards more comfortable camping. You're
giving yourself extra space, extra room.
Yeah. You're making life more comfortable, and that is the essence of glamping. Because then when you progress and you're like, oh well, the family, I've now got a family, I want to do more camping with them. Well, you're not going to go for a 4-man tent. You're going to go for a 5 or a 6-man tunnel tent where it's got extra rooms and a place for a kitchen pod and everything else. And suddenly you are glamping, my friend. You are glamping.
Yeah, I think you make a good case for it. I would still like to. I think that's the bit with the roof tents.
Yeah,
I think there is a conscious decision for less messing about.
Yeah.
Bending over, putting pegs in. You've got something that is much more firm, that's on a roof, that essentially you can just quickly fold down and drive away.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've done it. I've thought, what do I want to bother with putting out sometimes? As much as I love camping, sometimes there is that bit that I go, oh, I'm not going to necessarily take all that. I'll just take this.
And there are some times when I take it and I get there and I think, I'm not going to put that up. I brought it because I had the
that's
space
going to stay in the car. Yeah.
That's not going to come out the car. I'll leave that in the car. And it is sometimes some of the stuff that I've got, it can be a bit of a faff. Can be a bit of a bit of a faff, particularly if the wind's up, the weather's not great, and you just think, well, we'll hunker down in that 3-meter bell tent with tent carpets and there's hunkering down and hunkering down, isn't there, really?
Yeah. Did you see some of the, talking about sort of camper vans and those other things, have you seen those? They're like lorries that they've converted the back of them. They're like a double cab lorry.
Yeah.
I'll put some of the pictures up on socials for people to see, but where they've kitted out at the back and then there's either roof tents on top. They do look a little bit big. Yeah, I've seen smaller versions of that, which I think, oh yeah, that'd be really good. But yeah, really, really like those.
There was in Belgium. I went to the Belgian Grand Prix, and there was camping fields, loads of camping fields, and I had a wander through, and it was epic to see different people's setups. There was somebody there with that setup, so a pickup truck with a double cab, and then sort of bars on the back. The pickup bed was full of like cool boxes and stuff, and then on top of that was a roof tent, and then they were keeping in there. That was a great setup, and they needed that getting off that field, because I saw what a nightmare it was getting off that field on Sunday nights after all the rain. But I have to say the Dutch did glamping like nobody else. Wow. The Dutch farmers brought a muck spreader that they'd filled with water, It had a wood burner in it, and it was a wood burning hot tub muck spreader, which was just what I've never seen anything like it in my life.
I bet that water was murky.
Well, yeah. I never saw him get out of it, to be honest. So they probably just, it was probably already not nice. They also brought their own dance floor.
Oh,
I've never seen a dance floor in a tent field before, in a camping field, but they'd brought a massive marquee, set up an actual dance floor and DJ set with lights and everything in the middle of the camping field, and they were going large. It's
brilliant.
epic Dutch Formula One fans. It's amazing, absolutely amazing.
How brilliant. Well, yeah, I will look forward to seeing some of those photographs.
Aye.
Get them up on the socials.
I will. I will. Shall we bounce off into a minute mindfulness?
Yeah.
And then come back and talk a bit more. Don't go away, people, because there's always more talking after minute mindfulness.
Welcome to the Casual Camping Minute Mindfulness. Let the sounds of nature take you back to the camping field.
Bayek, that were nice.
So, do you feel like you've been camping with your glamping weekend? Has it scratched that itch, Tim? Or is it more that you want to get your own kit out and get out there? Because it's been a while for you, hasn't it?
It has, with one thing or another. It hasn't scratched the itch because I want to get my own stuff out, but I do feel like I've been closer to nature.
You've been out there.
Yeah. And I know I went to a Grand Prix. I went to Formula One. But on the Saturday, we'd kind of seen as much as we wanted to see by 1 o'clock, and we both went, should we go back to the cabin and just enjoy the cabin? And the weather was really nice. So we just sat on chairs outside and sat in the sun and drank some beer and had a bottle of wine and ate a load of cheese and bread, and it was just really nice. Belgium is an incredibly beautiful place to just sit in the countryside and just look at it. There were rabbits going by and all sorts. It was so I've definitely scratched the itch of getting out in the outdoors, definitely. But I am desperate to get my own camping stuff now that I've got it back out of storage and my garage is all tidied up. I can see it all. I can get to it all. I just need a date in the diary to pull the trigger. But
right,
just need a date. I need it. I need it happening.
Okay,
need it happening.
Okay, 2 weekends. Boom. Let's do this.
Okay. When's that? When's that? When are you saying?
So not this. So not this Friday. The one after. I'll give you a date when we're off air.
All right then. Okay. It's just, life gets very busy, doesn't it? Life gets very busy for a casual camping podcast host. And but yes, I will definitely get all of my camping stuff out. And I am going to go glamping. I am going to take all of my toys because I've not had all of my toys out for a while. So I definitely want to take all my toys, go out for a couple of nights. I want to spend at least 2 hours using that knife that you bought me to try and make feather sticks, fail miserably, and then, just buy some firelighters. Put the blowtorch on. The ultimate glamping tool.
The ultimate glamping tool. Wow, I think on blowtorches we'll say goodbye.
Fair enough. I hope everyone's getting out there. It is summer. We're out, unless it's the southern hemisphere and it's winter. But you know what? Don't hold back. Get yourself out there and have a great time, everybody. We'll speak to you next week.
Casual Camping Podcast accepts no liability and does not officially recommend any products or endorse any techniques discussed in an individual podcast episode or shown on Casual Camping Podcast social media accounts. Individuals should make their own informed decision and risk assessment of any products or advice prior to any purchase or use.